Emma here with some clabbered milk. It's proper gone off, but actually it tastes delicious. Okay, the texture is a bit, you know, I'm going to whisk it up into something. I'm going to make a rice pudding actually. It's good stuff. My daughter, when she was very small, would have night terrors. She'd wake up screaming in the middle of the night, and I would go to her to comfort her and find out what was wrong. And she would look straight through me as though I was the monster and fight me and like kick me and try and get me away, because she wasn't actually conscious, but her eyes were open. It was very weird and disconcerting. She also had this habit of calling me to her. I want you, mummy, mummy, I want it, mummy. I'd come to her and then she would literally just push me away. It was really weird. It was OCD, it was ODD, it wasn't right. She wasn't very well, and it was because once I'd read Dr. Natasha's book, GAPS, Gut and Psychology Syndrome, I realised it was her gut bugs that I had the beef with. It was the bugs, it was the microbes. You know, she had a pathogenic quantity. She had a bad bunch of gut bugs that were making her whole body toxic. This is the problem with ADHD, with autism, with any kind of mental health problem. I know I was very badly depressed and anxious, and it was mental health issues. They're all gut related. It's so great to know that, because mental health has such a stigma to it, you know, and having these problems like bad dreams and night terrors are a sign that you're not right in your gut. So what we need to do is get fermenting and get over our germ phobia, because germ is the word, that is the root of germination. It's like that's where all life springs from. So we culture and cultivate the garden of our microbiome, and then suddenly we feel better. We get over night terrors. You know, I had to deal with bedwetting up to the age of 8. And lots of parents have this issue. It's oxalate related, that, which is also gut related, because it's what you're feeding your microbiome, what you're feeding yourself. So the next exciting adventures in Timeless Cookery Club will be all about fermentation, all about not worrying if something goes off, knowing whether or not it is going to harm you, knowing whether or not you can use it, knowing whether or not you can preserve something using fermentation, which is how we did it before the dawning of the age of the fridge. The refrigerator's only been around for a matter of decades. In the 1960s, apparently in the UK, there was only 6% of the population who had a fridge. Is that right? In the early 60s? I mean, I've read that somewhere. In America, it was slightly different. But we didn't used to live with the fridge, we used to live with fermentation. And so the fermentation station in your kitchen should be a permanent little fixture where you're making kefir and kvass and kimchi and sauerkraut. And I ferment fish, I ferment offal, I ferment meat, I ferment all sorts of things. Not bread, obviously, is the main fermented thing that most of us think about, and beer and wine. And, you know, we can use different things to ferment things. And it's an exciting adventure. And when you start to ferment and have a little bit of ferments every day, suddenly your microbiome is transformed and your sugar monsters are banished. Because that's what I realised with my daughter. It wasn't her that I had the beef with, because she was a very challenging, difficult child to live with. And I know a lot of mothers are exhausted and have kids bouncing off the walls, you know, and they're like, what am I going to do with these kids? They're so hyper. We need to change their microbiome. And it's not that difficult. It just means bringing a few habits into your kitchen, a few new habits into your kitchen. I don't like cooking particularly, and yet I'm a cookery school teacher. So I'm an online course creator who makes cookery lessons for healing the gut. And I make it fun, engaging, quick, easy, because who wants to spend their whole life in a kitchen? Obviously, when you're starting, you've got to apply yourself a little bit. But if you're already cooking in the kitchen, you just got to make a few tweaks, you know. Take out the vegetable oil for a start, if anyone's still cooking with vegetable oil, because that's a disaster. I mean, sunflower oil, canola, whatever you want to call it. Extra virgin cold-pressed olive oil in a dark glass bottle is the only oil we should have in our kitchens. I hope you all know that by now. Anyway, darling hearts, see me at timelesscookeryclub.com, where we're just creating the new landing page for fearless ferments, where you won't be afraid to swig on some gone off milk, because actually you'll be resilient, because you'll have got used to it via the processes that I'm going to show you. Lots of love. Have a lovely day. Bye.